Can't hear you?
Try that again, huh?
Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to my 250th Tipsy Tuesday show. Hi everyone, and thank you all for being with us here on this very special occasion, 250 shows. Thank you for being a part of so many of them, some of you since the beginning. Say hi to Mr. HP, he's running the show and of course been a big part of all of it.
What up, people? What up?
He's showing his face a little more these days than when we started. But we are here, of course, every Tuesday, and this year we're going to keep it going. This is 5.5 years of Tipsy Tuesdays. And we are live on YouTube and Facebook, so make sure you are subscribed. And if you're on Facebook, you just got to follow our page and make sure you sign up for notifications, and then it will always pop up whenever we are live. Now, we love interaction throughout our shows, and this one especially you will benefit because we are having some extra giveaways, some from our live comments, and others have a chance to participate even though you're watching later on. And we love questions and comments throughout the show, thumbs up and hearts and all of that good stuff. Send us some good vibes so we can continue on for 250 more. Can we do it?
Whoa.
I hope so. I'm not stopping. Are you? No. So we are so excited for you being here for our 250th show. I hope you stick around for another 250, right? On today's show, we will, like I said, have some great giveaways. There's a lot to talk about, lots of great content. So hang out, everybody, and stick around till the end for that giveaway question because we'll be giving away a couple of gift cards. And on the set today, we have two very special quilts. We have brand new patterns that are not even available out there yet. They are our retreat patterns. Behind me is Winnie, made from Clover and Dot, which is in the house, and I will show you later on today. And then out of the same bundle, Billy is hanging behind Mr. HP. So this is a perfect example where you can take a 12-piece half-yard bundle and make two quilts just by adding some background to your Winnie. And that's exactly what our retreaters are doing these next 3 days. Starting tomorrow is our session 2, our session 1 of our virtual retreat, Stripology Virtual Retreat. Finished on Sunday. It was an amazing time, and thank you all that participated this weekend. We have been just kind of up in the clouds. First of all, our brains are barely working, but it was just a great weekend.
Awesome.
We, of course, took a virtual train ride, so we are ready for our next tour.
Get
now,
ready.
those of you that are curious about retreat and what people got in this mysterious retreat box, I will be showing you some hints on that on Friday's show, as we are going to be live from retreat. So we want to keep a little bit of a secret on things because we still have our second session waiting to participate. And so we want everybody to have that same experience, have some surprises along the way. So let's start with our giveaway question from last week. I asked you in the kitchen, what are some things that you always make from scratch? And our winner was random comment generator. Hold a name, and it's Joanne Tierney. Congratulations, Joanne. All you got to do to claim your prize is send an email to help@gequiltdesigns.com, and we will get you your prize. And Joanne says her homemade from scratch is I make pancakes on Saturday mornings. All right, give us your address. We'll be there. So as we celebrate this big milestone, we would like to start by thanking all of you, because we really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. If we didn't have viewers, obviously there would be no show. So those of you that have stuck with us throughout the years and really tackled some incredible challenges together with us, some challenging situations happening in the world. You all have witnessed major milestones in our family, in our personal life, and of course, made some really great quilts with us throughout those 5.5 years of Tipsy Tuesdays. 5.5 years. Put that up again. 250 episodes. If you just so happen to be catching us for the first time or fairly new to our shows, like I said, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we are here on a weekly basis, and then some. So let's take a look at some of the things that we do here on a regular basis throughout the year. Some are seasonal, but we always have these things sprinkled throughout our shows. One of those things happens every week. I always have a tip of the day on Tipsy Tuesdays. This is why we call it Tipsy Tuesday. Always have a tip of the day. Those tips can be all kinds of tips. They can be for using the Stripology rulers, some everyday quilting tips. Some of it is my unique techniques for creating quilt blocks or regular basic units. It can be how to cut your half-yard bundles and make them usable for whatever quilt you want to make, maybe making 2 quilts from 1 bundle, all kinds of things. Every show I give you a fabric picking lesson as we go through the new fabrics in-house. And I've also done a whole matchmaking series which is designed to help you match up the perfect pattern with the fabrics that you have, and vice versa. So I think there's a lot to be had in our tip of the days, and I think you all wait eagerly for those of you that have been watching us regularly. Some other things we do is we do free patterns and tutorials on Tipsy Tuesday, kind of sprinkled throughout the year, but something that is constant. Now, 4 years in a row, we have done what we call the Advent projects, and those are simple and sometimes a little bit fast sewing projects that are perfect to make for the holidays, for gifts. So that always takes place during Advent, 4 tutorials total, and it's just really fun to share something like that, and that during that holiday season. It makes our sometimes what is a hard time for some more fun to create something fun and easy, great gifts for yourself or others. Now, we also have a lot of sew-alongs during Tipsy Tuesday. They could be different sew-alongs. Some of them are quick and fun, and others maybe take a little longer. So those all take maybe a few Tipsy Tuesdays. And then we have those that just take 1 Tipsy Tuesday episode, like our Dina quilt along that we just did, our most recent one. Every year I do a strip along, and this year is no different. I am going to be doing our strip along this coming April, and this will be our 8th annual strip along. Now, what is a strip along? It is just a more fun way of having a quilt along. I always choose an older strip pattern of mine, and we kind of make it together. We break it down into a few Tipsy Tuesdays, a few steps, so everybody can sew along at their own pace. You can make a big quilt or a small quilt. Perfect to use up some of your scraps or collections of 2.5-inch strips. And I always give you some little twist on the patterns, because most of these were designed prior to the Stripology ruler, so I always give you tips on how to use the rulers and so on. So that is coming up now in April, our 8th strip along. Now, currently this year, we also are running a fun block of the month called Stripologized So the Stripologized block of the month is really a way for me to teach you how to take traditional blocks and break them down and stripologize them. So use the techniques in our Master Your Stripology Rulers book and of course the Stripology Rulers to break down these units, make them in a more efficient way and more accurate, and kind of teaching those techniques that you can apply to everyday quilting. So those are some of the things that we are doing here on Tipsy Tuesday. So just hoping if you're here for the first time that you might want to stay, hang around, put it into your routine, put it on your calendar. I know some of you have an alarm go off every time we go live, but of course a lot of you are able to watch us live, but then some others are always watching us a little bit later, and that is okay. The shows live on both on YouTube and Facebook for a while, so you can always watch later. So with that being said, let's kick off with our regular segments, tip of the day. And this time,
You always fool me, like, tip of the day. And what else is
this is a little tease. This time, it's the big old question, to starch or not to starch. So just a little insight into preparing your fabrics. Take a look.
You sure?
I'm sure. This is part 1. Part 2 will be next week.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Here's a question I get a lot. Do you always prepare your fabrics with best press or starch before you start cutting and making a quilt? And the answer is not always, sometimes. So let me give you my rules. Whenever I know I'm going to be making a quilt that I will be doing a lot of cross grain cutting, what that means is that we're not just cutting on the straighter grain, working with squares, rectangles, or strips, but we will be cutting somewhat on the diagonal, making that a bias cut. I like to pre-treat my fabrics just a little bit so that they'll hold their shape better, less chance of them stretching on that bias, and then just all in all, easier to work with. In some other cases, even though I'm making a simple quilt, if I'm using fabric from multiple different manufacturers and I can tell that there is a little bit of a difference in that thread count, then I like to prepare all my fabrics with either best press or some kind of a fabric spray so that all of them have that stability and they're going to work well together in a quilt. So what do you use? This is all a preference, personal preference. And so what I did for you, I tested 5 different very common stabilizer starches, and just to show you the difference, and so you can make a choice as to what works best for you. So here are the 5 products I tested. First off, Best Press, probably most available in quilt shops, one that we carry. So this is a starch and sizing alternative. So it does not have any wheat products in it, so you would not have to worry about any moth activity or anything like that. It comes in different scents and very easy to work with. It's this one I chose is a scent free. Then I had Magic Premium Quilting and Crafting Spray, Magic Sizing, and then just regular Niagara starch, and then Terial Magic, which is also a quilting and crafting spray stabilizer. So I have lined them up here in order of stiffness. So if I just need a little bit, my choice is Best Press. And here is the difference. So I pick up, this one is treated with Best Press. The fabric is going to act pretty much like fabric, but you can feel there's just a little bit more body to it. It feels a little bit more stable, but it really behaves. You can fold it, press it, crease it, and even if you need to work it into a seam a little bit, it will still give you that little bit of a movement. The next up I felt was the quilting and crafting spray. So this one has a little bit more body to it, as you can see. It doesn't drape quite as nicely as the Best Press, but very similar though. So you can kind of see by holding them up, there's a little bit more body in this one. Then we go to sizing, and since these are made from the same company, you can see what kind of finish it'll give you. This one has that grade 2, so just a little bit, mostly soft, a little bit of stiffness. And then the original finish starch has that center. This is the original finish. They also have a heavy finish, so that would be higher. So the sizing is probably the one that I've used the most if I know I want a little bit more body. It's still soft and pliable. You see, it still behaves like fabric. I can fold it and do all the things, but it definitely has more body than the Best Press. You can totally tell the difference here by holding them like this. And so I love to use this if I know I want to be very, very precise. I'm going to do a lot of diagonal bias work, so that is my preference as far as sizing or spray for that. Now this, it's nice. It's available in most big box stores across, so I can find it. If not, I can always find it on Amazon and order it in bulk. So next up is the starch. Now this is going to give you even more stiffness. So as you can see, it really doesn't drape much, but so a little bit stiffer than the sizing. So you can tell by just the way I hold it that the sizing piece is going to fall a little bit more. There's not a huge difference, but I can tell the difference. And when I work with it using the starch, that's more what I can tell the difference. There's not as much give in the fabric, which can be preferred for some people. So it is definitely heavier. Heaviest of them all was Terial Magic, and this really gives you just paper feel. So you have a piece that really doesn't behave like fabric anymore. It is really stiff, and for those that want that for certain things, that might be preferable. For me, that is way too stiff, and it feels like you're sewing through paper. But to each his own. I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum. So you choose what works best for you. And here you have some great options. Well, there it is. Of course, I saw some of your questions asking about other products. I thought maybe starting with 5 to test would be a good start. But again, if you are used to something else, please share in the comments if that's what you prefer. I think these 5 really represent that range of stiffness. I think there's many other products that would fit here and there in there. But these are all products that you can spray, so that there's no need to like dip and soak the fabrics. So if you're interested in more about how I have my process in doing that, so I'm going to share that in the next week on the part 2 about preparing your fabrics. And so, but any questions you have about these products? It was really interesting to me. I did not realize that Terial Magic would be that stiff. I'd heard about it being stiff, but it's pretty much all the way. And you know, for a lot of folks that do like art quilts and things like that, that may be the preferred. So it all depends on what you're doing, what your preference is. So do you let them all dry before ironing? Yes. Ideally, you let it all dry before ironing. So that's what I did with these pieces. And I can just tell that, you know, it's better because you do not ever want to cut your fabric when it's damp. So even though sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I can use a dry iron and kind of speed up the drying a little bit, I still have to let it air dry completely before I cut my fabrics because they're going to adjust if they're still damp. How much spray did you use? Just a light spray. So I will show you that next week. I'll show you exactly how I spray my fabrics and you'll be able to sew. I pretty much spray every surface, but you will see that easily. So you don't have to have it fully soaked, but even surface over the whole thing. But few tips there if you have any questions on that. All right, any more questions? Do all of these wash out? Yes, these are all easily washable. Now, of course, sizing, for example, that is used for clothing. So unless you have any allergies, it's safe to leave in. So I don't wash, well, if I'm gifting a quilt, I usually wash the quilt. But, and especially if you're using starch, you may want to wash your quilts if you're going to store them. But it all washes out. I have not tried the vodka and distilled water. I've heard about that. I have not tried that. But that's, of course, another personal preference. But vodka pretty much acts as starch as it is made, usually from potatoes. Is there a lot of shrinkage? That all depends on the fabrics. So there is always a little bit, and I don't necessarily call it shrinkage sometimes. It's really just the fibers readjusting, because when we get fabrics on the bolts, they have not been treated with any heat or steam or anything like that. So they have just been stretched, of course, during the printing process and then rolled onto bolts. So when it comes off the bolts, the fibers need just a little adjustment. So when you wet things, they are going to kind of adjust and react to their more natural form. So not necessarily stretching, but however, because of the way fabric is woven, we have along the selvage, so the long grain, we have the stronger fibers and the weaker fibers going opposite. So there's always going to be that little more shrinkage one way than the other. And you may have noticed that if you ever try to wet like a 10-inch square from a charm pack, they always seem to shrink a little bit one way but not the other. Yes, they all wash out of the quilt. Yes, they are all easily washable. Okay, any more questions? Oh, Gail has a good point. Starch won't flake if it dries first before pressing. Do you always cut big yardage to smaller pieces before making blocks or strips? That depends. If I know I need 3 yards, for example, for a quilt, I don't actually cut that down most times unless I'm working in a smaller space and I know that the fabric will still be very usable. If I'm cutting 2.5-inch strips, I won't have waste if I cut it into smaller pieces. So then sometimes I just chop it down into 1-yard pieces and I'm good. But it depends. Do you let the starch fabrics dry because you iron with steam? No, that's not the reason. You want to let it all the way dry so it gets stable before you press. If you press it when it's wet, it's still going to be damp. So you don't want to press it when it's wet and then start to cut. It's gonna be damp, even though to the touch it feels like it's dry. Believe me, ask me why I know. It's all experience. So even if you cut it and you think it's just warm from the iron, and then as you start sewing, things will kind of start moving on you. All right. Okay. So a little bit of a conversation here about pricing on these products. They are all, of course, differently priced. I have a feeling that the magic sizing and the starch are probably the most cost efficient, and even more cost efficient than probably vodka. But of course, everything is a personal preference, and I think if you like something, you'd rather maybe spend a couple extra dollars on that versus something that you are not happy with. So I just encourage you to try things, and you can kind of try out those different ideas just like I showed you. Kind of difference in stiffness based on what kind of stiffness you feel like you want to try out for whatever technique you're working on. But as to answer the question on what I use the most, I would say best press and magic sizing, sometimes starch in very certain situations. All right. Is that all the questions? Yes. Yes, once you starch or prepare your fabrics and it's dry, it doesn't affect it even if you use steam because you're not wetting the fabric. But an absolute no-no, I used to see this sometimes in my classes, and it was like shortly after the Best Press came out, that people would have that Best Press can on their ironing board and be pressing and wetting their blocks every time they press. And you absolutely do not want to do that, because as soon as you wet the fabrics when you're pressing a quilt block, it's gonna stretch. It's gonna move on you, and you're gonna get wavy seams. So you don't want to do that. All right. So yeah, like I said, I never tell everybody to do it a one way. I always encourage everybody to try things, and then you do you. You do you. Do whatever you feel like works for you. All I give is suggestions. Okay? Good, good, good.
Starch turn brown if you wait for it to dry?
No. Everything dries very clear. Fabrics look just like they, like normal. So I've never had anything dry with any kind of residue on it. All right, not at least these products. So, any more questions? Great conversation. Love it, love it, love it. So let's move on to some of our other topics. We talked about quilt-alongs, and since we talked about quilt-alongs, it's time to play a slideshow of our latest quilt-along quilts. We did our last quickie quilt-along, the Dina quilt-along, back in February 15th, so it's been about a month. And a lot of you have shared your Dinas. We have hundreds of Dinas to look at. So let's take a look at this slideshow and enjoy all your wonderful creativity from our quilt-along. So many great Dinas, and I know some of you haven't finished yours or shared it yet, but keep sharing. We love seeing Dinas in all the different wonderful colors. It's one of my favorite things is to see my patterns created in so many different varieties of fabric. Just warms my heart the most, because we can all make it work for us. All right, so tomorrow, I know some of you are excited for tomorrow, not just because of retreat. If you are a part of our Fast and Furious Club, our March project goes live tomorrow. Oh, should we show these Dinas first? Well, we can talk about it after this. Let's show the Fast and Furious project. Our March project is called Diamond Drop Table Runner. And I really love this one. I really love the fabrics I used for it. It is called Florence, and I threw in some extras as well. We have just a few kits still available for this one, which includes all the fabrics for the top and the backing, which is really cool. I have my runner right here if you want to see. Yeah, I really, really love this. But this project, so if you are part of our 14-month Fast and Furious Club, if you purchase the 14 months or just trimester 3, this pattern and video will be in your account tomorrow morning. If you are interested in this standalone, it'll be available tomorrow to purchase on its own. That is the pattern and a full video class of me showing you how to do this from start to finish. So even if you've never done Quilt As You Go, you'll be able to do it. For sure. I forgot to show you one of my favorite Dinas that I've gotten so many questions about. I did this one with Anna Maria Horner's Love Always collection. And of course, as soon as I had this made and shown, the bundle sold out. So I thought I would make some folks happy to tell you that we have more on order. We secured some more of this fabric, and we have it coming in. So we popped that bundle back up on the website, and it is now a pre-order, but it shouldn't be long. It should be just a few weeks until we get the fabric, and we'll get it cut and available again. I know a lot of you, when you saw my quilt, you really wanted that fabric. So I listened and was able to secure some more. So that's exciting. Okay. Bundle Club. So Goodies Bundle Club is one of our subscription programs. So our subscription Bundle Club is every 3 months. So it's a quarterly club. Every 3 months you get a wonderful curated half-thread bundle in the mail, along with a beautiful booklet that has photos of the quilts that we've already made from those bundles, that bundle that I choose for each month. This month, this is from January, so it was the Woodlands and Wildflower bundle, and we made 3 quilts. We made Elvira 2, which is in my Stripology Mixology 3 book, and then we made Nellie, which is a single pattern, and then we made Rocky Road, which is in the first Mixology book. And they all look so different. It's just so wonderful and fun to see the difference. These quilts, or this line of fabric, also comes with a large 1-yard panel that we use for the back of some of these quilts. But what I wanted to share with you is that now there's a month. We're already counting down for next month's Woodlands and Wildflower. So now this bundle is available on the website. We had a few left, so they have now been listed on the website. So you can purchase the bundle, the Woodland and Wildflowers bundle. And so those of you that were hoping to secure a second one, if you are a subscriber, you can grab one up now to make bigger quilts. We also have a little kit, or a little bundle, I should say. So our little bundles are 12 different fat 12ths. A fat 12th is 6 by about 21 inches, 12 different fabrics, so that you can either use that for strips or you can cut your 5-inch squares. You will get 48 squares out of it. And then in the bundle, there's also a 1/4 yard cut that coordinates well for your binding. And this little bundle was actually in our retreat box. More about that later. But here's an example of our booklet. Now that we're counting down for our April shipment, we do have openings for Bundle Club. So if you subscribe now, you will have to wait until April 20th when we ship, and you will receive next month's bundle. We're very excited. I always try and choose something that is never seasonal, never novelty, but something a little bit maybe out of the box, always well coordinated, and always something different every time. So some of those that have been a part of Bundle Clubs from the start just love the variety and love to challenge themselves, because it's maybe not the fabrics that you would have chosen yourself if you were to choose, but always ends up being beautiful quilts. And there's always a little coupon that you can use every month. So check that out if you're interested in any of the woodland and wildflower. We have some extra yardage 2 and 1 yards from that line. So check that out. All right, any questions on that or Bundle Club?
1 yard, 3 yards in woodland.
Yes, we have some of them sold out, but we have, I think, at least 4 or 5 of the prints that are either in the bundle or some ones that we brought in separately that we used as accents in the quilts and so on. Is there a list somewhere of quilt patterns and bundles that would look good together? No, not really, because you know what? Some bundles, well, most bundles can be done in so many different fabrics. What I suggest is go back and watch my Matchmaker series, and that's where you can really kind of dissect the patterns and figure out what bundles, based on what you have, the composition of the bundle, what would work well with that particular pattern. So are the Bundle Club fabrics also half yards? Yes, so the bundle is always a 12-piece half-yard bundle that you will receive, and then we always have offerings of coordinated fabrics available in 1 yards and 3 yards based on some of the things that we have made with it. That's in the booklet. We bring in yardage in 3 yards to use for backings or borders and all kinds of things. So, and those that are subscribers will get a special link to go directly to those products. So they're always available right away when you have your bundle shipped. So great questions. Great questions. Yes, we have spots available now. They have tended to sell out. So just so you know that. They have tended to sell out, and we have been full in the past. And you can cancel anytime. So it's just a commitment of, the first shipment, and then you can always cancel, but it's only for a year. So 4 bundles a year. Okay, I wanted to mention one thing, because in the past week, we've been talking about our quilt cruises, and we just opened up registration for 2 cruises next year in January. The first one sold out really, really fast and has a wait list. The second one is selling out really fast. We have, I think, 8 or 9 spots left, quilting spots. So if it's 8 spot, that means for 8 quilters. So if you want to travel with a non-quilter, it would only count as 1 spot. So if you're thinking about it still, or you haven't responded to Michelle's email, if you registered and haven't responded, make sure you do that before you lose your spot. Just a little reminder. So speaking of some exciting things coming up, you may know about our Fam Fest or tent sale that we have now done 2 years past, and is turned out to be an annual thing. This is where we put out a big tent at the GE headquarters and have really great deals on fabric and other things. This last year we connected the 2 days before and had all kinds of fun events going on, and this year will be no different. So it is time to announce our dates so that you can make your plans to come see us. A lot of folks traveled from all over last year and was really a fun set of 3 days. So our Fan Fest 2024 will be, here we go, September 12th through the 14th, 2024. 2024. So come join us. The actual tent sale is always on the Saturday, which will be the 14th. And then on the 12th and 13th, we'll have some events at the headquarters, so in the classroom and other places around. We will announce those a little bit later when it gets closer to summer and when registration opens. So I know I can't talk about things until you're ready to sign up. So I am going to keep that, but you can definitely make plans and save that date. Following our in-person tent sale will always be a virtual tent sale. So those of you that can't come, you can still benefit from that tent sale. Okay, any questions on that? No? Good.
We have online deals for the tent sale. Yes.
Yes, after the actual in-person one, we always have, after we've had a week or so to clean up. Clean up and see what's left, and then we list it on the website.
It's during Mary and Heather's birthday.
Ooh, come celebrate your birthday with us. We'd love to celebrate with you. Okay, so we have a little gift for you. Those of you that have been loyal customers and are part of our our FAM, which we call our loyalty program. So starting right now and through tomorrow, it's double points. We do this every once in a while, double loyalty points from Tuesday at the end of the show until Wednesday at midnight. Yes. So you not only get 5 points per dollar, you get 10 points per dollar, which is 10% back of all your purchases on the website. So check it out today and tomorrow, Wednesday, double points. Love that. So it is time to look at our fabric. So this fabric line, Clover and Dot, this is from Wyndham, and this is long awaited. It was supposed to be one of our retreat options, and then they had delivery delays, and so it didn't arrive in time for us to cut it and send it out in our retreat boxes. But here it is. So let's take a look at Clover and Dot. This one is designed by Allison Harris from Cluck Cluck Sew. So we'll start with the main print here in this beautiful blue. I love the brightness of the reds. The blues have many shades, so it's really nice, and just a little pop of yellow and a beautiful warm green. So lots of colors in this bundle. We have another in that dark blue. I love this one because it's like little chicken steps or chicken footprints. You call it? Are they footprints? Do chicken have feet? Yes. just had to think about it. Then we have this beautiful light teal colorway. So same main print here in that teal colorway, and then there's beautiful polka dots in that light blue. And then we have the green color. This is a really, really beautifully unique green. I really love that because it goes so well with these blue shades. We have the bees. So these little bees are wrapped in what looks like laurel bows here on each side. So a little bit of a regular print here. Acts kind of like a geometric. We have a small floral, and now we're going into that beautiful warm red. So this one is a nice bright red. We have the same bumblebee or bee print here. And then a little bit more yellow in this one, so a coral color I would call this. It's not quite orange, it's like a dark peach coral. And I love this diagonal plaid. It's almost like chicken wire, but not. It has this white print on it. I don't know if you see it. It's really nice. I love this color. And then bringing in the yellow, we have the bees. And then a beautiful yellow polka dot with dark gold and white polka dots, finishing out this really bright and happy bundle. So I love that there's a lot of nice, beautiful colors. It's nothing too extremely bright, so they really gel well together. We have a couple of fabrics from the line available. We have that same plaid in the red, so it's the white crosshatch in the red, and then we have a wonderful polka dot, multi polka dot. This one is so much fun and would really coordinate with everything. So let's take a look at my fabric pull. I started off with the blues, the dark blues, the color wash, and the textured indigo is wonderful and a perfect match with those blues. And so is our trellis in the blue, because it has that light blue trellis color, the same as in the light blue fabrics. And this was one of our Color Club colors a little bit back. We have Deco Stitch in the teal fog is a great match for the lighter blue. And so is the Spectrastatic in the dusty blue. Almost a perfect combination there. For the greens, because we have two shades, for the lighter ones, chose a spotted in the Celadon for the lighter hue of the green, and then for the little bit darker, the Dash Flow in the meadow, which was also a Color Club color in the past for our succulent, I believe. We have our red here. I chose another one that's a bit brighter. The grunge in the flamingo is nice and bright to work with. It still has little hints of peachy pink, which works really well with the lighter tones over here. Then we have Flights of Fancy in the Cinnabar. So this is that tone, not quite orange. It's a little dark peach, coral type color. And for the lighter, the grunge in the pumpkin is also a good combination, good to throw in there. For the gold, grunge in the mulled cider is a nice tone with it, and so is the nature elements in the antique gold. I love that it has the dark and a little bit of white, just like the polka dots, so it will work really nicely mixed in here. As far as background, now the quilt behind me, the Winnie, we used the terrain in the Luna. This was a part of our Mushroom Color Club. I love it. I love that it has these shade of taupe and gray in it, and it just was really cool with these colors. If you wanted these to kind of appear brighter and stand out more, I would go with almost a pure white because it matches the polka dots. This is a chalk and charcoal in the white, but any white on white or a full on white fabric would work well. Of course, the polka dots would be fantastic as well. So this is Clover and Dot, now available as a 12-piece half-yard bundle and also as a little bundle. I think it would make a wonderful little bundle, make little runners or some of our Fast and Furious projects. So cute. Yes, now I know I'm gonna get the question, what patterns to make. Now we made Billy and we made Winnie, so even though those patterns are not available yet, you can really visualize any pattern by looking at these quilts. Can we put up the Billy quilt again? If you put up Billy, so that will be any pattern that uses 10-inch squares or that are just this scrappy, delicious, scrappy goodness. If you have watched our matchmaker, this is the kind of look that you would get no matter what the pattern is. And then if you pick a pattern that has a background, you'll get a totally different feel with this. We take a look at Winnie, and it just gives the fabric some space, some negative space between, and it appears different. It really does. But if that's the look you prefer, it's great to choose a background to work with it, or even just a focus color.
That's delicious too.
Yeah, so this would be scrappy with background, and then you could also do scrappy with focus if you want more color and just a little bit of that accent contrast. All right, well, we are gonna have some live winners here. Mr. HP is going to pull up the random comment generator from all your comments on the show, both on YouTube and Facebook. And we're going to have 2 winners that are going to get a prize from us. Here they are. 2 winners, live winners. Thank you for watching live. It is Cindy Korn and Janet Parker. Congratulations. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being a part of the fam, the GE fam, and watching Tipsy Tuesday. And then we're going to ask you a giveaway question, and we'll have 2 winners this time as well. And those winners will be announced on our next Tipsy Tuesday. But here's the question that you have to answer. What is your favorite quilt along that we have done? Period. Now, if you are new to watching us, you saw our Dina quilts. Maybe it's just Dina. Maybe you haven't done a quilt along. But what are some of those that you've seen that you would be interested in doing? Would love to hear that. And remember, Colleen will be here tomorrow morning with our Deal of the Week, 1 Yard Wednesday, Deal of the Week on 1 yards. And our next Tipsy Tuesday will be next week, March 26th at 4 p.m. Central with a wonderful 4-year-old co-host. Yes, the kids are coming to visit next week. It's spring break. I cannot wait. So we'll have a 4-year-old, very seasoned co-host named Johan. And maybe a little 1-year-old will at least try and show his face. And his name is Leo. We'll see. Very excited for that. This little grandma can't wait. Our Happy Friday show will be this Friday, though, on March 22nd. We'll be live from our retreat. So probably a little bit of a different show, but we did this already last Friday. So I hope you join us this Friday. And so let's really celebrate these 250 shows. We have...
Perfect pair.
Oh, Perfect Pair. Yes, it's Perfect Pair Week. Perfect Pair is Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Please join Kara and Nancy. They have a special guest as well. And a new producer. Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I know parts of what they're going to talk about, so I cannot wait to check out their show. So we have shows Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, everybody. But we have our 2 youngest children here that you've met before, Mr. GP and Svana, and they're going to celebrate with us and all of you. I think we need to pop a bottle, don't we? Yes. So thank you all. Are you going to do it? Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's to 250 more shows, everybody. Happy, oh, this is, no, Tipsy
Watch out.
Tuesday. Yay! Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time, everybody. Woohoo! Cheers! Cheers! Bye.